they are the very ones who demonstrate the matter of the law to be written in their hearts, while their conscience is bearing witness with them and, between their own thoughts, they are being accused or even excused. Row 2. 14, 15. In discussing the matter of headship with the Corinthian congregation, Paul called attention to the rule that a woman should wear a head covering when praying or prophesying before the congregation, as a sign of subjection. In illustration, he says, "Does not nature itself teach you that if a man has long hair, it is a dishonor to him? But if a woman has long hair, it is a glory to her, because her hair is given her instead of a headdress." 1 Cor 11. 14, 15. Paul's reference to nature itself evidently included more than custom, which he mentions in verse 16 in connection with the use of a head covering by women. Hereditary characteristics also likely had a bearing on what Christians in Corinth viewed as natural. Among Europeans such as the Greeks, the hair of women, when left uncut, usually becomes considerably longer than that of man. But this is not true of the straight hair of Orientals and Indians, or of the woolly hair of blacks and Melanesians. In addition to their awareness of hereditary qualities among them, the Christians in Corinth knew that it was the general practice for men to clip their hair to a moderate length. This was common also among Jewish men. So the long uncut hair of Nazirites marked them as men who were not following the general custom. New 6. 5. On the other hand, Jewish women usually wore their hair quite long. Lu 7. 38. Joe 11. 2. And in the Greek city of Corinth, shaving a woman's head, or clipping her hair very short, was a sign of her being a slave, or of her being in disgrace for having been caught in fornication or adultery. 1 Cor 11. 6. So, when saying that nature itself taught them, Paul evidently had in mind various factors that would influence their attitude as to what was natural. In saying "does not nature itself teach you?" Paul was not personifying nature, as though it were a goddess. Rather, God has given man reasoning powers. By observing and reasoning on things as God has made them and the results from using these in various ways, man can learn much as to what is proper. It is really God that teaches, and the man with his mind properly oriented by God's word can view things in their right perspective and relationship, thereby rightly discerning what is natural or unnatural. By this means the individual can have a trained conscience in this respect and can avoid a conscience that is defiled and that approves unnatural things. Row 1. 26, 27. Tit 1. 15. 1 Cor 8. 7. Natural use of bodies. It is wrong for men and women to use their bodies in any way that is out of harmony with the functions for which God created them. What is unnatural in that sense is sinful. The scriptures describe the uncleanness and condemnation coming upon those who practice these things. That is why God gave them up to disgraceful sexual appetites, for both their females changed the natural can use of themselves into one contrary to nature. And likewise even the males left the natural use of the female and became violently inflamed in their lust toward one another, males with males, working what is obscene and receiving in themselves the full recompense, which was due for their error. Such persons lower themselves to a beast-like level. Row 1. 26, 27. 2 Pe 2. 12. They go after wrong fleshly things because, like a beast, they lack reasonableness, having no spirituality. Jude 7, 10. Birth. Another Greek word translated natural is cis, literally meaning birth or origin. James speaks of a man looking at his natural face literally, the face of the birth of him in a mirror. O textoi acute miritra longo. Nazareth 476. Frequently Jesus was referred to, in widely scattered places and by all kinds of persons, as the Nazarean. Mr. 1. 23, 24. 10. 46, 47. 14. 66-69. 16. 5, 6. Lu 24. 13-19. Joe 18. 1-7. Jesus himself accepted and used the name. Joe 18. 5-8. Act 22. 6-8. On the sign that Pilate had placed on the torture stake he wrote in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. Jesus the Nazarene, the King of the Jews. Joe 19. 20 From Pentecost 33 CE forward, the apostles as well as others often spoke of Jesus Christ as the Nazarene, or as being from Nazareth. Act 2. 22. 3. 6. 4. 10. 6. 14. 10. 38. 26. 9. Prophetic. Matthew pointed out that the name Nazarene was prophetically foretold as another sign identifying Jesus Christ as the promised Messiah. He called this to the attention of his readers when he told how Joseph brought Mary and her child back from Egypt following Herod's death. Moreover, Matthew wrote, being given divine warning in a dream, he Joseph withdrew into the territory of Galilee, and came and dwelled in a city named Nazareth, that there might be fulfilled what was spoken through the prophets,